Okay, hi everyone. I hope you are well. I that you are coping. Let me introduce myself. So before I do, I hope you guys are ready for a productive session in accounting. Just a little bit more about me. My name is Shantae. I am a grade 12 accounting teacher. For those who have joined me for the first time, you are very, very welcome. I teach grade 12, 11, grade 10 in accounting, and then also some EMS for the grade 9s. I absolutely love my subject. I went to study BCom accounting, so and then I did my articles. So you are in good hands. Okay. So yesterday, we looked at the theory. Okay, we looked at our fixed assets theory, and today we will be looking at an exercise. So I talked a lot yesterday, and I said to you, remember, keep this in mind, keep this in mind. But now we are actually looking at the practical way. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, that is the easiest way to learn. You know by now that in order to succeed in accounting, you have to always do your homework. You have to physically do every exercise the teacher gives you, just because every question has a different way of asking it, or it has a different approach, a different way of answering. So maybe no, so it's definitely the best idea to always do your homework and then to work out as many questions as possible. Because I found that, yes, I can read through the theory, but if I physically see it, I understand the concept. And that's also how you succeed in accounting. You understand the concept. So no matter what I throw your way, you will succeed because you understand the basic concept. Okay, so that's going to be my aim for today too. And also the aim for the rest of the week. We are going to try and help you understand the basics of fixed assets. Okay, I absolutely love fixed assets. It's my favorite. It never changes. If you know everything they can possibly ask you, you will do really, really well on this question. Okay, so if we have a look at what would be asked on Wednesday, what we will do tomorrow and on Thursday, that's just how we're going to take the general ledger and maybe do a general journal, but I will do the same question. And then Thursday, we'll do the notes. We'll see how this class goes. Maybe we'll do a bit more than we planned. Maybe we'll do a little bit less, and then we'll just adjust our planning. Okay. Then it's very important for you, in order to get this class every single day from 5 to 6, you have to register your email address on www.africateamgeeks.co.za, so that you can get a link emailed to you so that we can meet here every day from 5 to 6. If you have any other questions, also please go to www.africateamgeeks.co.za, okay? And also follow us on social media at Africa Teen Geeks. Okay, remember, I would love this to be an interactive session. So if you guys can just show me by way of questions and answering in this chat box, I would love to see you interacting with me. Okay, any questions, please don't hesitate to ask here in our live Q&A. Okay, so here is our first order of business. Okay, I want us to please start with exercise 5.3. So I'm not sure how you guys want to do this, whether you want to take a photo on your phone, on your iPad, maybe screenshot it and paste it in a little tab. I'll give you a minute just to take a photo of this or screen print it onto a file so that you have the question, because this is the question we will be doing from today onwards, okay, up until we are finished with the note. Okay, let us start. So let's read the information. It says the information that follows was obtained from Nelspruit Traders. The financial year end of Nelspruit Traders is the 30th of June. So in any question, guys, in any question you ever do, this is the first thing you do. You write your timeline so that you know exactly what is happening where. We have a financial year end of 2018, okay, financial year end 2018. So it would be best to write here 2018 as well, so that you know, okay, what is the financial year I am working with? I'm working from 1 July up until 30 June 2018, okay. Then they ask me the required that we need to be able to do the transactions of the asset disposal and then the purchasing of the new vehicle, writing off the depreciation in the general journal. Okay, this is something I think they would like to test. I know I like to test with my students. I know I don't usually give them a general ledger because that is grade 11 work. I will test a general journal because that I don't have to just ask certain general ledger accounts. I can ask you the general journal and you have to show me every single general ledger account that is affected, okay? But don't you worry, we will tackle that in this question. Then they want us just to see what the amount is that's going to appear in my income statement for depreciation. We'll tackle that. And then they ask me for the note. Okay, so the note is our last step, so we'll do that. Then we have the information on 1 July 2017. Okay, the following is appeared. So can you see that this is reflected as opening balances? Okay, so this is opening balance. What I would do if I were you, I would circle it in balance. Why? Because these vehicles are then at the beginning of the year. So in my beginning of my year vehicle general ledger account, my vehicle amount would be all these added together. Okay. Then it says that my depreciation method is the 20% per annum on carrying value. Okay, that's very important. The carrying value method. So that's our difficult method or more difficult method. All it says is remember that before you calculate your depreciation, you have to minus all of your previous accumulated depreciation amounts. Okay. So then they say the following happened. Yes.
It seems the Q&A is not working at this stage. I'm also checking the live links and I see Q&A is also disabled there. So it seems you won't be able to get something from the learners at this particular stage, but you can just continue as is. Nou, sy is gewoon weg.
Okay.
Hi, is ek terug?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, sorry. Die Q&A lyk my werk nie en ek is besig om te kyk, maar ek sien ook op die live feed dit wil nie werk nie. So ek gaan aanhou probeer, maar ongelukkig, unfortunately, I don't think the children or they will be able to do something at this stage in asking questions. If you can just share desktop again and then we can continue with the class. I'll let everyone know when Q&A is up and running again.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Sorry about that, guys. I would love to hear from you. I'm being able to talk and discuss with you guys, but it seems as if We're having a problem with that. So let's just try and continue. Please keep your questions. We still have a lot of time. I would love to maybe spend the last 15 minutes, last 20 minutes even of the lesson just answering your questions. Okay, so I'm going to go slowly because I have no way to see at what pace I should move, if you understand, if you don't understand. So please try and keep your questions. If we don't sort it out by today, that's not a problem. We will continue with this exercise tomorrow anyway. So then we'll just tackle all the questions. Okay, maybe then just jot it down for you so that you know the task. The first step I want you to do, don't look at my answers. I want you to please, maybe let's just go to a different sheet. I want you to please work out the depreciation. Okay, work out the depreciation of each of these vehicles. Okay, I'll do it with you, that's fine, but it would be best if you just quickly did it, quickly start doing the depreciation and then us checking your answers. How we do that is we say, okay, so I bought it 1 August 2015, so I'll go here and then maybe just see here, this is then the method I'm going to work it out. So I'm going to say, okay, 1 August 2015, I bought the asset, and then my end of my financial year was 30 June. Then this was the entire 12 months, and then obviously this was the entire 12 months because if we look at number 3, these are the only additional informations we have. So this means that it's a nice short question, not too difficult, not too many movements. But you are grade 12, so you will most definitely, if you get a fixed asset question, you will most definitely get a question where one asset was sold during the year and one asset of the same type, meaning vehicles or equipment, would always, land and buildings won't get asked. If it would only be on the cost price model because land never has depreciation. That's very important. So that's not something I'll test in matric. What I would test is to see, can you work out the depreciation when I sell a vehicle and when I buy a new one? So I want to see that. Okay, so that's definitely something you will be getting. Okay, so let's see. On 30 December 2017, vehicle RSW was sold on credit. Okay, so can you see that that means it's this vehicle? So I would make a little star here. I would write 30 December sold. So when I go and I work out my depreciation, I know that I should stop at 30 December. It's 30 September. I should not go on to 30 June. Okay, that's very important. Then they say the depreciation must be provided for on 30 June. Okay, so that just says, remember, on all remaining vehicles, we have to then work out my depreciation. That's fairly easy. They also say I skipped 3B, sorry about that. On 1 December 2017, a new vehicle was bought on credit, okay? Like we discussed yesterday, how something is sold and how something is bought is very important because that obviously pertains to what I'm going to recognize. For instance, here I'm going to recognize creditors control. When something is sold on credit, like in 3A, it's going to affect my debtors control. Let's see if our Q&A is working. Okay. So let's start. I have given you enough time now. I've talked a lot. Let's see, and let's just work out the first. Okay, let's work out the first one. The reason for this is just so that you guys can't start marking the rest. Okay, so we say that it was bought on 1 August 2015 for this cost price. Okay, so can you see there's no accumulated depreciation that I have to minus? Why? Because on the day that I bought it, there was none. It's new, it's brand spanking new. Okay, so what do? I just say times 20 over 100 because it's 20% and over 11 months. 11. I see a lot of you, not you maybe, but my students, that they just try and work out the months, but then they get it wrong. Okay, so let's count together. I want you to get out your hands. Let's count together. Let's say August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. Can you see that it's 11 months? Okay, it's 11 months. So therefore, I get 66,000 Rand. You'll understand the color coding better by the end of the week. Then we have 1 July 2016. So we have the new financial year. Okay, the next one, that's for the full year. So all I do is, can you see the 66? I'm just subtracting it. Okay, and I'm working out my normal accumulated depreciation. So this represents my depreciation for that year alone. If I had to work out my accumulated depreciation then for this year, it's going to be these two, right? So it's going to be my cost price minus this year as well as this year, the 2016 financial year end, the 2017 financial year end, and then I will have a depreciation amount of 47040. Okay, it's also 12 months because can you see it wasn't sold during the year? So I have a total accumulated depreciation amount of 171840. So the orange represents my accumulated depreciation amount for the 2018 year. This is the opening balance, and then this will be the depreciation amount for the year. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, RSW. So the first thing you should keep a lookout for, remember, this was sold during my financial year end. Okay, now it says we bought this asset on the 31st of May 2017 for 570,000 Rand. Okay, if you see here, now here is another mistake you guys like to make. If it was bought there, can you see that it only had depreciation for 1 month? It didn't have depreciation for May and for June because I only bought it on the last day of May. Okay, keep that in mind. So therefore it's 1 month. Okay, my depreciation then for this year, so the 2016 financial year end, will be 9,500. I hope you got that. I hope I'm also not going too fast. Maybe I should go a bit slower. Okay. Then I have a look. The next financial year end of 30 June 2017. Can you see again? It's vehicle, so it's on the carrying value method here at the bottom. So what do I need to do? I need to minus it. Okay, I need to minus it. It was for the full 12 months, so therefore this is my depreciation amount for this year. Okay, my accumulated depreciation then at the beginning of my 2018 financial year would be this 121,600. Okay, those two added together. Now let's go to this financial year end. So this is the one I'm working with, right? This is my year. So now I need to make sure that I minus. I made a little mistake here. Can you see? Yes, this is a mistake. There we go. Let's do 121. Okay. what I accidentally did is I minus to this amount and this amount. So you only have to minus this amount, or what I just did to show you what I am minusing, you have to minus these two together. Okay, you can see that those two added together is 1,600. Okay, so now in this financial year end, to work out this year's depreciation up until the 30th of September, which is 3 months, because we have July, August, and the September, the whole of September. Can you see that 30 September I have to also take into consideration? Okay, this is then my depreciation amount for my year, okay, for the whole year. Okay, now let's look at this, then the whole accumulated depreciation amount from the day I bought it up until the day I sold it. We will be doing something with this. I hope you know what you will be doing with it. Let's see if it's still not working. Okay. 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 Let's go back. Now we have our TWR vehicle, okay, and it was bought on 1 April 2017. So can you see it was bought in my previous financial year, okay, my 2017 year. Okay, that's fairly easy. Why is it 3? Because I bought it during the last year, okay, during my last year, I bought it in during the year. That's what I want to say. Okay, so now we have our 3 months. Why? Because I bought it 1 April. So count with me. We have April, May, and then June. Okay, I know you guys are matric. I know you know how to work out you know how to work out depreciation. But the reason for me here today is just to make sure that you understand, you get your all those little things that you guys might get wrong under pressure, that you guys lock them down. Okay, and you understand the meaning of what you're doing. I think if you know why you are working out what you are working out, you will understand the whole concept much better. Okay, then we have this financial year end. Nothing happened with this vehicle. I didn't get stolen. I didn't sell it. Nothing happened. So I have it had it for the full 12 months. Okay. Therefore, this is my depreciation amount for the year. Okay. In my 1 December, I bought a new vehicle on credit. So yeah, we just work out. I bought it during the year. Can you see that it was bought 1 December? So therefore, I start working out depreciation from 1 December. Okay, the moment depreciation, sorry, the definition of depreciation is you start depreciating an asset, or you start calculating it the moment you use it. Okay, so when the asset is in use. Okay, so when you go further and you want to study it next year, you'll have to always you'll study fixed assets. There's a whole standard in IFRS just for fixed assets, and the reason being is the day it starts, you start using it. Okay, so that's our depreciation. Now, let's see. All I want you to do is quickly draw up a general. Let's let's do the general ledger first, and then we can do the general journal. Okay, so let me open this for you guys so you can see. Okay, so please draw. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to draw the vehicles T account, the accumulated depreciation account, the depreciation account, and the asset disposal account. So I'm just going to give you 4 minutes to quickly do that. Maybe you just need 2. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Usually I would like an indication, but that's not possible now. So that's just fine. I just want this T account, and these two. Don't fill anything in yet. Don't run, don't go forward without me asking you to do so, so we can do it together. Okay.
Ma'am, it seems the Q&A is working. However, I cannot get the Q&A on my side to start working. But I see you might have Q&A working on your side.
Where
So,
would I be able to see? Where would I be able to see that? Because I can see meeting chat. I can see the chats.
okay, so I'll take a look and I'll see what I can do. But it seems there is a problem on Microsoft side with the link and with the way it's going at this stage. So I
Okay.
try to go on. So just check the meeting chat then. We can go through there.
Let's see. Okay, I'm posting on my meeting chat. Maybe that is a platform we can use. Let's see. Okay, try and see if you guys can join via the meet. Chat via the meeting chat. Okay. Then let's start with vehicles. So we now need to have a opening balance, okay? The opening balance, to see here, we have these three added together for the beginning of the year. That will give my opening balance. So there you can see I added them together. Okay, so just to show you again, it would be these three added together. Can you see? In the beginning of these three vehicles, so that's the opening balance. Okay, accumulated depreciation balance. Let's just focus on the balances quickly. Okay, and here we want to work out this. Okay, how do we do that? Now remember, we now worked out my depreciation for every single year from the day that I bought the asset up until the day I sold it, or up until the financial year end of this year. So have a look at my orange amounts. Do you agree with me that the orange amounts, if you see, if I do this, have a look here at the bottom. We have an amount of 257,400, right? So if I go down, can you see that this is also my opening balance? Let's quickly see why again. Because if I add up all my previous year's depreciation amounts, that will form part of my opening balance of my accumulated depreciation for the current year. Okay, so now I've worked that out. And I have my opening balance. Depreciation, you know, it doesn't have a balance. Again, my asset disposal, guys. Remember my asset account, just something I know most of you don't know. Okay, then let's look at the first things first. Okay, we've now done this. We've now also done my balance for accumulated depreciation. What is the easiest to do now? Okay, the easiest is to first just account for my depreciation. Let's do step number one, or step number two, because my step number one would be to fill in my balances. Step number two is to see, okay, what have I worked out up until now? I've worked out all my accumulated depreciation amounts as well as my depreciation amounts. Okay, let's now account for that. Another thing before I go on, I want you guys to see that even though they don't give me any figures, if they give me the method of depreciation, the depreciation rate, and the date I bought it, as well as the cost price, I don't need anything to give you anything else, okay? I don't need to give you anything else. Okay, so to account for my depreciation, do you agree with me that it's the depreciation we worked out during this year? So all these highlighted in gray. Okay, so now, and this one, don't forget. Okay, so now let's account for that. So it would be this vehicle this vehicle for the 3 months, remember, that I still had the asset. I need to also account for that. And then the 7 months for the new vehicle. Okay, can you see that I have amounts here of 127,510, right? Did I say it correctly? 1,725,110. 510. Okay, let's go here. Now, this is my depreciation for the current year. Let's look at my 172,510, right? So, you know, and depreciation account is an expense. It always, always, always gets debited because my expense increases. So here I just showed you how I got to that amount, and that's how we get to that amount. We've seen now if we add them all together, you'll get that amount. Okay, so because now I debited this amount, I remember I have to credit it. So if I credit it, I'm going to write depreciation. Remember, this is for the current year. You only account for depreciation during the current year. This is obviously my old assets, meaning all the assets that I had for the full 12 months. Okay. And then my new vehicle that I had for 7 months. Let's have a look again. 7 months, as well as my asset that I sold because I had it for 3 months. Remember, I still had it for 3. Let's have a look. Can you see? I still had it for 3 months. So therefore, I need to make sure that I still account for this in my depreciation account and therefore accumulated depreciation. Okay, so this is what this is out of. This is also something we talked about yesterday. Remember that formula, old, new, sold. You will get something like this. You will most definitely get something like this. The nice thing about it is it doesn't get any harder than this. It really doesn't. Okay. So instead of maybe asking you an asset and equipment, you'll most definitely just maybe get one type of asset and then have a sold and have a new one. Okay, so now we've done that. Okay, let's look at the new asset. So all I do is I've already accounted for its depreciation. So can you see that all I'm going to do is I'm going to account for it in my creditors control. So if I were to have a creditors control account, I would obviously increase my creditors control account on my credit side and therefore debit my vehicles to show, okay, my vehicles has increased and so my creditors control account will also then increase. I so wish I could talk to you so that I can see if you guys are okay.
Yes, the chat literally came on just now. So please,
Okay.
if you've got questions, please feel free to chat. It seems they've sorted out the issue. I'm not sure at this
Okay.
stage how many we've got. We've got 4 people watching us. That was the
Okay.
last, but it can be incorrect, seeing that there was huge issues with the stream. So boys and girls, if you've got question, please ask away.
Okay. Where can they ask that?
Still in the Q&A. I'm also running
Okay.
in my, and it seems the Q&A have just gone on. So just
Okay. So it will still go on my side because I'm not seeing it. Can you see on my screen? I'm not seeing
yes,
it yet.
I think um, they'll ask questions if it's there. Just say yes or no so they can see that you are online, please.
Hi everyone. If you can just please quickly in the Q&A indicate to me that you are here, you can hear me, so we can see if you guys have any questions so far. That's amazing that it might work.
Okay.
Is there any questions?
It doesn't look like there's questions at this stage, but I think let's just go on at this stage.
Okay, that's not a problem. Okay, guys, so we've done all of this. Now, we've now also looked at how to account for when I buy a new vehicle. Now let's look at my asset disposal account. So first of all, what I have to do is I have to de-recognize my vehicle. Okay, how do I do that? Okay, so now I see the cost price of my vehicle was 570,000 rand. So my first step then in to do an asset disposal is I am going to de-recognize my asset at cost price, because vehicles are always at cost. Remember that. That's very important. Okay, so what do I take out here? I take out the cost price of the asset that was sold. We now confirmed that it was for 570,000 rand. Okay, so here I'm going to take it out. I'm going to decrease my vehicles, and then I'm going to take it to asset disposal. If I credit it on my vehicle side, I have to then debit it on my asset disposal side. Okay, next step. Now I have to take it out at accumulated depreciation amount. I have to take this out. So I have to take out all of the depreciation that this asset had. Why? It's because I need to show it at carrying value. My objective is to see, okay, what is the carrying value of this asset, which is 425,980, and then to compare that to what it was sold for and see if I have a loss or a profit. Okay, so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I want to determine the carrying amount. Okay, that's why accumulated depreciation is also a negative asset account. Why? Because I always show my vehicles at cost price. But obviously, the day you drive out with that vehicle, it's never the same. It's never the same, right? So value. So it's never the same value. So I now have to get a way of decreasing and showing my wear and tear on my vehicle. How do I do that? With accounting for accumulated depreciation. Okay, so let's move on. Now, how do I do that? So can you see I said there was a method for the madness, why it would be yellow? It's just to show you how everything interlinks. Okay, so how did I get this amount? Let's go to the top. Can you see that it is the full depreciation for this year, for the current year, as well as the full amount for the 2 previous years? So I add them together. Okay, so there we have a sum of 144,020. So this is the full amount I'm going to take out. Remember, I have to take out everything, all of the depreciation that had to do with the RSW, okay, vehicle. So let's do that. Now let's take it out. How do I take it out? Okay, I am going to decrease my accumulated depreciation. So I'm going to decrease that negative asset, because obviously I'm taking it out of my books. I'm taking out all of, because in this, okay, and in this is the 144,020. Does that make sense? In this amount is these two amounts are included in that amount. Okay, and in this amount, can you see that that amount is included? Here we go. Here, that amount is included. So I have to now take all of the depreciation I have accounted for the whole for all the months to make sure that it's correct. Okay, so therefore, if I credit it in my asset disposal, I have to debit it, but that makes sense. Okay, now I look at the way it was disposed of. So the way it was disposed of was on credit. So it was sold on credit. It was sold on credit for 420,000 Rand, guys. So what does this mean? I made a loss. Okay, I want to quickly show you again why and how to determine the loss. Remember yesterday I told you, I don't know if I maybe wrote it here. So here, if this is looking only at my asset disposal. So I also made a little summary here. But if I show my asset disposal accounts, we always have a loss if it's a credit balancing figure. And we always have a profit when it's a debiting balancing figure. For those of you who haven't attended yesterday's lesson, please write this down, take a photo, take a note. This will always stay the same. So if you like me in matric, I would have just studied this, okay? But now, after I've gotten my degree, I had working experience, I know that the best way to be good in accounting is to actually understand what this means. So let's quickly take a minute and figure out what does this mean? Why is it why is the credit side represented with a loss, and why does the debit side mean that it is a profit? Okay, so my objective is to see what is the carrying value of the asset. Vehicle. So if I say asset, I mean vehicle, right? So how do I get that? Okay, it is my vehicle amount, my cost price. Can you see this is my vehicle at cost minus all my accumulated depreciation amounts, including this year's depreciation amounts, right? Okay, this is my carrying value of the asset. So this is the actual value. So if I had to trade this in and I had to sell it at a garage, this is the value. This is what the asset is worth. Okay, you know, when you want to sell something, you usually go on LLX and you check, okay, what is the going rate for it? Okay, this is the actual value in my books. This is the proper value for this asset. So it's 425,980. Okay, now what I sold it for. So I went and said, you know what, Gary, let's say Gary bought it from me. Hopefully Gary's here. He was here yesterday, so hopefully Gary's here again. Okay, so let's say, okay, Gary, what you don't have to pay me this amount. You only have to pay me 420,000 Rand. Okay, can you see that I'm making a loss? Why? Because I'm asking the selling price is less than the actual value of the asset. Okay, so can you see that I'm doing this to determine the value of the asset? Okay, and I'm asking the data less than it's actually worth. So therefore, in my books, I have to account for a loss. Okay, if I sold it for 450,000 Rand, can you see I made a profit? Can you see that I would make a profit because I'm asking them 24,000 Rand more than what the asset is worth? Okay, so therefore that would be a profit. Now, before we move on, and maybe let's spend the last 4 minutes of the lesson on that. We said that this was sold on credit. Okay. I told you, and those who just joined and didn't join tomorrow, didn't join yesterday, when an asset is traded in, it's always traded in at carrying value. Carrying value. Always, okay? Always. This is something you can also study off by heart. Because why? Okay? It is for the simple reason that when I go to the garage and I say to them, okay, let's just copy this. Creditors control. Okay. Control. Oh, I have three more minutes. Okay. So I want you to quickly get this concept. Okay. So now I'm trading it in. And so you guys know that this should be creditors control and this should be at carrying value. So you agree with me that then this would be the same value, right? Yes. Okay, you agree with me. So the reason being is what I'm doing now is I'm buying a new vehicle. I'm buying a new vehicle of, let's say, 500,000 Rand. Okay, now can you see that it is going to increase my creditors control account? Can you see it's going to increase it? Right? Because now I'm owing them the 500,000 Rand. Yes. Okay. Now, instead of paying them cash, what I'm doing is I'm saying, listen here, because I'm buying a new vehicle, I don't need my old vehicle anymore. You can take this vehicle. You can physically take this vehicle. Now, the thing is with a garage, they will never give you more than the actual value of the car. Okay, because otherwise they are reducing their profit that they can do a markup on their product and maybe sell it. So they'll never ask you, give you more than the value of the asset. So now you trade it in at 425. So instead of paying them, you are giving them your car. Can you see that that's why this goes to creditors control? Okay, and therefore, can you also then see if I trade it in at carrying value, there's no loss or no profit. That's something you guys need to remember. That's something that might get tested. You guys forget it. That's very important. There's no loss or no profit, and this is the physical figures. Why? Okay. I'm sorry now that we couldn't get any questions, but maybe keep your questions and then hopefully tomorrow we will sort that out. Or maybe you didn't have any questions. It was good to have you. And that concludes our lesson.